Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today we have a very special guest. Her name is Theresa. She was a delight.
She was a delight, yes.
She was a teen mom.
Yep.
Amazing story.
Yes.
Vegan, hashtag love the vegan.
Hashtag no vegan ever died from protein deficiency.
Amazing, yes. Truth.
So.
Hashtag truth. She
not
was,
obnoxious veganism.
No, not at all. Just a delight, a pleasure to speak to.
Yes.
Relatable.
Totally.
Hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, thanks for listening. All right, welcome to episode 3 of the Momsplanation podcast. Today on the show, we have the lovely Theresa. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the basement.
Thank you. The basement is lovely.
Thank you.
I love the basement.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're big fans of the basement.
Really like
Yeah.
basements.
Yeah.
Basements are a thing.
Good. I'm sure you're enjoying the toys too, right?
I love the toys. They make me feel like I'm at home.
Yeah, we want people to come to chat on our podcast and feel like they need to tidy up,
That's
like
exactly,
most moms
yeah.
feel like at home.
Yeah.
So come to the basement, feel like you need to tidy up. You're helping me, I'm helping you.
You've done a very good job at making me feel like I'm in my element.
That's good.
You
That's
really
the
have.
whole
Yeah.
point.
No, it's fantastic. I appreciate all of your effort.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
I know, it is.
Curating this mess is really hard, but I'm doing it all in the name of the podcast.
Amen. You're preaching to the choir. I get it.
So, why don't you tell us who you are?
Well,
Who are you? And why are you here?
I'm Theresa.
Are you sure?
I have been referenced in many ways, but I reference myself as Theresa.
Okay.
I'm a mom of 3.
Awesome. Ages.
16 and a half going on 32.
Right.
Male.
Right.
6 and a half going on 7 thinks he's also 32.
Right.
Male.
Of course. Yeah.
And 5.5-year-old daughter who thinks that she is a queen.
Good. As
Like
she should.
Beyonce.
Nice.
Reincarnate.
Nice.
Daughter who's just totally thrown a wrench in all of my mom of boy plans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the best way, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely the best way.
Yeah. So 16 and a half is pretty old.
You're
not super old.
No.
So tell me.
Yes.
Well, how old were you when you had this 32, 16 and a half year old boy?
I was 18 and pregnant,
Okay.
19 and a new mom.
Okay.
Single mom. Very underprepared for motherhood.
I can imagine.
Not even stable in my own self.
Yeah.
And so really like the cliche is true, like baby parenting a baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
With
Right.
little to no resources.
Yeah.
Little to no physical support.
Right.
From the other parent, from my family, pretty close to just doing it entirely on my own.
Yeah.
And utilizing like resources in the community and, financial support and donations from different organizations so that I could just get what I needed for him.
And what was that experience like for you?
It was humbling. It was terrifying.
Yeah. I can't even imagine.
It's interesting, specifically as a mom, to be in a position where you look at your son who's like 16 and a half, and he's got the same belly button that he did when he was a baby, but realize how much has happened, and to look back on that time in such a different way from a different place, where I'm a stable parent and more stable parent, and more available human being to this other human being that needs me to guide him,
right,
and see how it happened.
Right.
So I can see how it happened, but I remember feeling it instead of kind of experiencing it. Mm-hmm. So I felt scared a lot.
Okay.
I felt alone a lot.
Yes.
I felt...
Even in the presence of your child.
Even in the presence of my child.
Yeah.
I felt different from other moms a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, I would go to parenting groups and I would be surrounded with moms that were, like, in their 30s and 40s.
Yep.
And I was the teen mom. So I felt really excluded. I couldn't relate.
Yeah.
It was difficult to have dialogue with those groups of women because there was this obvious divide.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in those groups, there weren't many women that kind of reached through that divide and extended an olive branch. So I felt pretty isolated.
Yeah.
I felt pretty isolated for sure.
So flash forward to having your second son. What is the difference in the feeling from becoming a mom for the first time at 18 years old versus, I won't give away your age.
I'm 35. Proud to be 35. I'm going to be 36.
So you were 29 when Isaiah was born?
I was, I guess
28?
So. How old was I? He's going to be 7 this year. So let's do the math. Yeah, I was 29.
Okay, so that's 11 years. So flash forward 11 years to becoming a mom again.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, first of all, I think I was insane for doing it because Thomas was just like getting to a place where he was letting us sleep in and he was making his own breakfast. Right. And then I decided, this is going really well. Why don't we just go back to sleep deprivation and insanity and have another baby? Like in the name of love, let's join our, genes together and make us superhuman and destroy any sanity that we have at this current point in our lives. So have another baby. The difference feeling wise was, I think, entirely situational. It was, I was older. I was far more aware of who I was as a person. Yeah. I was married. Right. Or with, I was with somebody who was supportive and wanted to have a child with me. Yeah. I had a little bit more financial stability. Okay. And so circumstantially things were different, which helped me to absorb the change in my body, the change in my life, the change in my circumstances again. Yeah. So I felt like I was playing with a full deck of cards instead of half. Okay.
And emotionally, did you feel like you were having the same experience as like becoming a mom again?
I felt like it was the same and different. Okay. And I realized that that's ridiculous to answer that way, but it was the same in that I was like overjoyed. Yeah. Overjoyed to be having a baby, overjoyed to be pregnant, overjoyed to be more connected to my person, more connected to my body, more aware of what was happening, physically through the pregnancy because I was aware of myself. Yeah. So I wasn't worried about the outside so much. So I was more tuned into the inside. Okay. And so it like offered this excitement and joy. Yeah. Mixed with just a little bit of fear. Like, how is this going to switch things up? Yeah. Where before it was all fear and a little bit of excitement and joy. And it was almost not okay for me to be excited as a 19-year-old pregnant person or a 19-year-old mom because why do you have a child at 19 when you're not with the person? And when you have no support, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. But I was still overjoyed. Yeah. Just way more. Right? How dare you
be happy to be a mother? Yeah. When you don't have a partner and you don't have it all figured out, you don't have the finances, and you really don't have it together.
How did your older son feel about this?
When I had another? Yeah. So my husband had a son from a previous relationship. And so we had kind of given him the experience through that of like blending a family. And so he really loved having people around. Yeah. Because it had only ever just been him and I. Right. And so when we had now my now husband and his son around, my oldest son really enjoyed that. When we decided to have another child, they were both happy. I think they were happy because we were so happy. And I think that my son was so happy because I was so happy.
Yeah.
And he could see that having a baby in these circumstances was a good thing.
Yeah.
It was different for him because there was like 11 years between him and his sibling. So it was almost like having two only children in the house because there was such a divide. You know, Thomas would come home from school at 10 years old and he'd walk in the door and I like was breastfeeding. So I'm like, you know, hi Thomas, how was your day? Like trying to feed this child.
Yeah.
No, you can't have friends over because the baby's sleeping.
Yeah.
You know, no, I can't get you a snack right now because I'm being milked.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
I can't. No, I can't. No, I can't.
Yes.
So he loved the idea.
Yes.
And he loves his siblings.
Yeah.
But it was a different connection for him.
Yeah, and I went through that with Mila when I gave birth to Daenerys. She definitely had a similar experience when she was born because she really liked the idea of being a sister and loves her little sister. But, you know, like for her, it was like, oh, I've been the youngest for 6 years almost. And mommy has always been there for me and always given me all the attention.
Yeah.
And now I have to wait. It's like, mommy, I need this. Oh, but wait, because I have to take care of the baby first.
Yes.
So I think, you know, my experience with her was very similar because it was hard for her. She was like, oh, I really love this baby, but she's taking my mom away from me.
Yeah.
That I didn't expect because at 5 or 6 years old, you can't conceptualize or 10 you know what the change is really gonna look like. It's like, oh, there's gonna be another person, cool, I can play with them, awesome.
Yeah.
They're gonna cry and take all of your time and I'm gonna have to wait and, you know, be patient and you're not gonna pay attention to me and then they're gonna like eat my things or barf on my things. It's like, oh, I didn't sign up for that.
This part isn't
That's
cool.
not what I wanted.
I don't like this.
Yeah. So I've experienced that as well. I can totally identify with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, as they grow, and I'm sure you've experienced this, they, you know, come together even with the age difference.
And I consistently remind Thomas that despite his feelings around having younger, sometimes annoying siblings, that those are the siblings that are going to wipe his butt when he's an old man.
Correct.
Because he will be in an old age home, God grant, 11 years sooner than anybody else.
Yeah.
And so when he loses his mind and can't wipe his own rear,
That's right.
those kids, probably Elizabeth, will be the ones that take care of him.
Yeah.
And right now, there's a lot that's dividing them, but at a certain age, as adults,
they'll
come together.
Well, Rachel, my sister, is almost 11 years younger than me, and we're best friends.
Exactly.
Like, you know, she used to take my things to school to show off her friends because she thought her older sister was so cool, and I used to
she was
kill her.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, Mom, like this kid, like get this kid away from me.
Yeah.
You know, and I vividly remember that time.
Yeah.
But it does come right around. Like, you know, she really is my best friend. So, you know, I have no doubt. And Caleb is a totally different kid. He, like, embraces the baby situation so well.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah. And
That's
he
good.
talks about, like, I can't wait until Forbes is my age and I'm 20 and I can drive him places.
Aww.
And, you know, like,
that's
sweet.
You know what?
You know,
that's
whether
that
it's gonna
sounds a
happen
lot,
or not,
right?
but like he like that he's fantasizing like about that, about being the oldest.
That's
and,
really
you know,
nice.
yeah, he's very sweet, that brother. So how does Thomas deal with the family dynamic now? Like, is he like, did he embrace it right away? Did he always?
And I think that sometimes he's really good at embracing it.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's challenged by it.
Yeah, because to your point, like, it's a long time that it was just the two of you.
Oh, yeah.
And formative years for Thomas where he, you know, it was just you guys together. And, you know, like you said, raising a child, growing up together, it's impactful, right? So
it is.
Bringing a husband, stepbrother, and then new siblings.
For sure. And of course, I mean, in-laws too, right? New relationships with grandparents. Everything was new.
Yeah.
And I think that he, the one thing about Thomas that is like, I adore about him is he really is kind-hearted. He jumps into building bonds with people. Like, he really cares a lot about people.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't so much challenged in the way of like, this is who I am and I really love you.
Yeah.
It was more like, how was his time changing? How he's like, you know, my stuff, my things, don't touch my things, don't come in my room.
Yeah.
I think that now, I mean, him being 16, almost 17 years old, he's a young man.
Yeah.
And so he's not home very much. He works a part-time job. He plays recreational sports. He's very involved in the Army Cadet Corps. So he does a lot outside of the home, which is great.
Yeah.
When he's home, he's kind of like a celebrity.
Okay. Aww,
And
that's kinda cute.
the kids are like, oh, Thomas is here, you know, and so his interactions with them are usually, he will joke around with them and get them incredibly riled up.
Yeah.
Get them wrestling.
Yes.
Get them
perfect.
really uncomfortable with like everything that's going on around them, and then be like, oh, this is so annoying, I'm going up to my room.
Deal.
Great. Thanks for stopping in. Like,
Yeah.
thanks. And then he's also a really good babysitter. Like, I have to say that he can turn it on when he needs to. And he doesn't always need to. We don't ask him to do that very much.
Yeah.
But he's very good at stepping into a caregiver role for them
Yeah.
and providing like comfort and nurturing to them.
That's amazing.
Particularly with his baby sister.
Yeah.
He has a massive soft spot for her.
Aw.
And a lot of the male dynamic with their younger sisters or daughters is very
He's gonna be
interesting.
super protective. Like,
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
Very interesting.
But he consistently says, like, I don't even need to worry. Like, I pity the fool that dates Elizabeth because he's going to have to deal with Isaiah.
Yeah.
Isaiah's going to be the one. So they're 14 months apart,
Yeah.
Isaiah and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
They were raised in a way that they often act a lot like twins. They sleep at the same time. Everything is in tandem. They do things in tandem.
Did you plan that?
Yes.
Oh, that was my next question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good plan.
It was. So with Thomas and Isaiah being 11 years apart,
Yeah.
I was actually going to have my tubes tied. I had a surgery date booked, and about a week and a half away from my surgery to get my tubes tied,
Yeah.
Wayne and I went out for breakfast, and we took Isaiah with us. Little Isaiah in his car seat, who was like 3 months.
Yeah.
And the waitress was like, oh, he's beautiful. And, you know, I wish that I could have had one more, but I got my tubes tied.
Oh my
and then I met somebody and we wanted to have a baby.
Yeah.
And I tried to get them reversed and it didn't work. And Wayne and I kind of looked at each other and we were like, oh my God.
That's not a sign.
Right? And so
So
we
crazy.
weren't 100% sure we didn't want more.
Right.
But we were like, oh, maybe we should just finish here. Like, let's, you know, count our lucky stars and move on.
Yeah.
So we were like, she kind of looked at us and we were like, okay. She's like, what, did I say something? And I said, well, you've given us a lot to talk about because, like, I have a surgery scheduled for 10 days from now that I'm not even sure I want to get.
Yeah.
So we decided within 10 minutes, we were not going to get the surgery.
Yeah.
And we were intentionally going to try for one more child.
Okay.
Pretty much right away. And just let's get it done.
Yeah.
And then you can get snipped. And because I will have been through enough by then.
Yeah.
So you can do it. And so we did. So we just decided, okay, we're going to get pregnant. And so in theory, over breakfast, that decision feels great.
Yeah.
Because you just had breakfast
It
and you're
always
like,
feels good.
oh, your
Like-
baby's so sweet and he's there. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you're going to have another baby. And oh, he's so cute and look at him. But he wasn't like moving and he was super chill.
Yeah.
And he was a really good baby.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're like, oh, this is great. So we didn't try, but we didn't try not to try. We just pulled the goalie, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And like, then there was a positive test right away.
Yeah.
So like, I'm so grateful, but I'm extremely fertile.
Yeah.
And I do not take that for granted.
Yeah.
I know that there are many people that
Who are not.
struggle.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And I know that it is definitely something that I do not take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he can't even keep his pants on the bed
Yeah.
if I'm ovulating because I'll get pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, keep away from me. That's so right away. And so when I was looking at this test and then went like, I went into the room and said to Wayne, like, remember when we said, like, this was a good idea? And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, I didn't realize it was going to happen right away. And it was like, I was 4 months to the day that I had Isaiah.
Wow.
And I was pregnant. Like, I was 3 weeks
Can you
pregnant.
imagine?
No.
My heart palpitations over there. Because
yeah.
That's, yeah. Wow.
I was like 2 months shy of, like, having 2 kids under a year apart. Like, really, like, crazy. It was insane.
Yeah.
But beautiful insanity.
Yeah.
So I can't relate with that because I've come out of my fog. I had about close to a 3-month fog after he was born.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just coming out on the other side, and I don't see the beauty in the insanity right now. Like for me, it was just like terrible, like really terrible. Yeah. Because I didn't live up to any of the expectations I had of myself becoming a mother of 4. He was very challenging, so beautiful. Like I love him. He's so cute, so beautiful. But fuck, like the crying, the not sleeping, the crying, it's so much. It was too much.
I think the thing that really connected me to you through that process, and I appreciate so much that you were so public. Like the 19-year-old mom in me was praising and celebrating the shit out of you when you were taking such a public stance on the undoing of your expectation of yourself as a mom. Like you were unraveling your own self and being so public about it. Yeah. The day that you were on social media and you talked about your 2 kids shitting all over the place in the doctor's office, I was like, this is gold. This is what every mom who has ever said, why aren't those kids behaving, needs to see. Yeah. And I loved that you called yourself out as a judgy mom. Yeah. Like up to this point, I've been a judgy mom because I can see that myself. Yeah. Yeah. Like I can see that even despite being the mom that was judged by other moms. Yeah. We all at some point step into judgy mom. Yeah. We do. Yeah. And sometimes it takes something like that. Yes. To be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
So this child has brought me to my knees.
Yeah.
So like down to my knees of motherhood. So when I see people out in public now, and I wasn't judgy all the time, but for sure as shit, like sometimes I would see people and I'd be like, what the is going on there? Like, can you get your shit together, lady? Like, what are you doing? And now it's like, is there something I can do?
Yeah. Do you want me to hold your child?
Like, can I come over there? Like, do you need something? Yeah. Like, I totally respect if you need space and you just need to lose it, and that's fine. But, like, I'm more inclined today to go up to someone and say, like, is there something I can do to help you? Yeah. Instead of being like,
girl.
I helped a mom clean up barf the other day in a store.
That's amazing.
Because now I understand. She's got a baby in one hand, a 2-year-old screaming, and her kid barfed on the floor. Yeah. And I'm like, I got some wipes. I got you.
You only have so many hands.
Yeah. And she was mortified. And I'm like, oh, honey, it's Walmart. Yeah.
Probably just leave it. This is like the cleanest thing I've cleaned up all day.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Even if it was like the fanciest
But before, I would have been like, God, like, why did that mother bring that sick child into Walmart? Like, oh my God, is she crazy? Yeah. Like, and I don't do that anymore. No. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so the age gap, I don't know if it is the age gap for me. Like, the age gap is hard, for sure. And it's 17 months, not 14, so I had an extra 3 on you. But, you know, I really wanted to, you know, like, incorporate the baby into this other baby's life, and I wanted to be able to be present for my other baby, and you know, have stimulating toys for her and play, and you know, and I don't have there was none of that. There was, I'm barely surviving, you're watching TV, please don't bother me. Like, there were more moments of that than I am happy to even admit today.
Oh, I get it.
That, you know, I can't believe that I still can't believe it happened, and I feel like I've created a Peppa Pig addict because I just couldn't cope in these early days, and Peppa Pig just made her so happy.
Yeah.
And now she just loves it. And I'm like, okay, I'm out of the fog and I don't want her to watch it anymore. But if we don't watch it, she's lying on the floor having a shit fit because she wants to watch it. So you enjoyed the age difference between your babies. Is that accurate to say?
I did
you
sometimes.
Enjoy it today?
I enjoy it today.
But in the beginning?
In the beginning, it was very challenging. So Elizabeth was born, and she was a NICU baby for about a week.
Okay.
And so it kind of disrupted the bonding in the family unit because my husband was at home with Isaiah and I was in the hospital with Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And so when we came home, my husband was off of work for a few days.
So you were breastfeeding Isaiah, you said. When did you stop?
I was not a successful nurser.
Okay, you weren't.
Some women have enough milk to feed a city.
Yeah.
I did not have enough milk to feed my child. I tried medications. I tried herbal supplements. I tried pumping.
Yep.
I worked for 2 ounces and fed that to my child.
Yeah.
I could not produce enough milk to feed my giant children.
Okay.
And very quickly.
When you say giant, how?
They were big. So Isaiah was 9 pounds, 14 and a half ounces.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Vaginal birth.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth was 9 pounds, 11 ounces.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it is fact, there is a necessity to have your child gain their birth weight before you can take them home from the hospital.
Yeah.
Or at least be on track for that.
Yeah.
And at the rate, and I just don't feel like it's, I don't feel like that makes any sense considering the fact that most women won't start producing milk for a couple of days anyways.
Right. Yeah.
Took me a week.
Yeah. It takes women a lot of time. And so, I tried everything with my kids.
Yeah.
And so I was in hospital with Elizabeth, tried to nurse Isaiah, was successful with him for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So that was great. He got 6 weeks. And I celebrated that. And then I bottle fed him. And it was fantastic.
Yeah. So you felt no shame?
Oh, I felt lots of shame.
Okay.
I felt lots of shame.
Okay.
I felt lots of pressure.
I'm asking because you say you celebrated that, but
I celebrated the 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I celebrated the 6 weeks, but I did it silently because I felt a lot of shame for coming from others. I even had to, I think at some point, I remember at some point having to step into the decision with my husband and say, listen, because he was really pro breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm the one with the breasts that aren't producing milk, and we need to feed our kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to buy formula in bottles.
Yeah.
And we are feeding this child so that he is satiated and she is satiated.
Yeah.
Because I'm not able
to
physically produce what they require to be healthy and to grow at the rate they're expected to.
Yeah. I find it so interesting that I get the benefits of breastfeeding. I do. I've breastfed all 4. I have been very fortunate to be a successful nurser.
Yeah.
All 4 kids, no problems.
Great.
Very thankful.
Yeah.
However, I know that people say it's better, and I know all of these things. I'm not into that debate. My thing is, people will say oh, it's so much easier to just feed your baby a bottle. But I'm like, I don't think that's accurate actually at all. No. Because I think about the sterilizing and the mixing and the, I just open my shirt.
Right.
And my kid is being fed. Mm-hmm. So it's how is bottle feeding the easy way out?
It's not.
Right.
No. It's not.
So how
how
do you bottle feed 2 babies at the same time?
Same way you have 2 and it's awful.
Yeah.
It's so much work. There's nipples and bottle caps and bottles and bottle liners everywhere. Yeah. Clean, dirty, in between. Is this clean? I don't know. It's 3 a.m. I can't see, and this baby's screaming. Put some milk in it. You just. I think that whether you're nursing or you're bottle feeding, you just do whatever you need to do to survive. To get through it. Yeah. So we came home from hospital. Wayne went back to work a few days later. And so I've got one child who's been sleeping with me, co-sleeping in the same room, in a sleeping in the crib to go to sleep, but then coming into my bed and being with us in bed. I'm all for co-sleeping. I'm all for putting your kid in a crib or a bassinet, whatever works for you. That's what was working for us. Our child developed a wonderful bond with us, but then now I've got this child who wants to come with me to nap. And I've got a baby attached to my breast. I've got to feed her, and he wants me to sleep. What do I do? So some days he would be crying, she would be crying at the same time in the nursery, and I would sit down on the floor and just cry with them. Okay, we're going to sit and we're going to cry for 10 minutes. I'm going to sob. You're going to cry because you're hungry. You're going to cry because you want me to sleep. We're all crying. And then mom's going to get up. And I'm going to feed you, and I'm going to let you cry for a little bit while I feed her. And hope that you cry yourself to sleep. I mean, it's not ideal, but people, this is just what this is life, right? It's like it's risk management, right? And so like at that time, I was the risk that needed managing the most, so I need to have a good cry. And then like I'm in the insurance world right now, it's like risk management, and then once I'm dealt with, okay, that's the riskiest risk, then we deal with the child that needs to eat, and then we deal with the one that's tired and just wants to be held, and then we just do the best that we can, right? And so there were a lot of moments like that. There were our own moments where like, so at this time I wasn't driving. Okay. So Wayne was off and I had a doctor's appointment. And it took me like 2 hours to get ready to just go to the bus, to get on the bus, to go an hour to the appointment. And so like we're 5 minutes till bus comes. We're all ready to go. And somebody shits. And I start crying. Like,
of course.
Okay, so you're going in a shitty diaper on the bus because I can't miss this appointment.
Well, I don't even know if I said in my shit story that I had taken the bus that day. Did I?
Oh, no, you didn't mention that.
So that was the cherry on it because we only have the van.
Yeah, we are a one-car family as well.
Daniel was working. And he couldn't take the day off, but I had to go. So fine, I walked to the bus, took the bus, fine, but I had this whole scenario.
The shit storm.
So I am the woman on the bus with 2 kids. I smell like shit. My children smell like shit, and I'm sitting on the bus.
It's great. Wanting to die.
And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening right now?
Is this my life?
Is this
Do
what
I
it's all about?
Smell like shit with 2 kids that smell like shit? Is this what life is really about?
And no one would think that I have 2 older kids and have successfully raised them. Like they would be like, who are you and where
Who let her have these children? How is this possible?
Are you the worst nanny or just the most messed up mother?
I think they knew that you were their mom. I think there's like when moms are in that state of vulnerability, I feel like people sometimes they just don't say anything because they know. They're like, this woman is down and we are not going to be the ones to kick her right now.
She's down.
She can't handle it. No. Like one more nudge and she's gone. We can't do it. They know.
I don't know.
They knew.
They
knew.
Yeah, but they don't talk to you.
No, they don't. They just like
do not make direct eye contact.
But because they can smell you. I mean, that's really what it's about. They can smell you.
It's the smell.
Mostly, if I really, think about it, it's like most of it is in my mind, right? Like it's me. It's not them.
No.
He's just a baby. Like he's brand new to the world.
Right.
Who am I to look at my baby that I created and asked for and say, you are not behaving the right way.
How dare you?
You are not sleeping. You are crying too much. You are too needy and this is inconvenient for me. So this needs to change. But it's like, that's what happens. It's like, I need my sleep. Don't you know that I need my sleep?
They really are.
Are you not aware?
Yeah, they really are totally inconsiderate of sleep for sure. But I feel like they are just the most angelic mirrors that show us exactly how neurotic and self-centered and unrealistic we can be as people.
I feel like being a mother gives you the opportunity to be more humble, to be a better, more compassionate, empathetic, human being, right?
Absolutely.
Like, to a singular level. Like, it just really tears you down. And I think that, people who don't get to be parents, I think that's the thing that I feel most sad about for those people, or, if they choose or whatever. It's like, it has given me the ability to be a completely different person.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. That may be going too far, but for me, that's like, even just becoming a mother of more children has changed, so much about who I am.
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes the focus from the exterior to the interior.
Yeah.
You start recognizing that, like, having the outside perfect doesn't make you a more successful woman, a more successful parent, a more put together individual.
Yeah.
It's like, how am I responding when my children are up? This morning, my children were up at 5:30.
Yeah.
I intentionally set an alarm every morning at 5:30. I get up for meditation.
Yeah.
I do some journaling. I have a cup of coffee before I even get ready for work.
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
That's your self-care.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And so my children are trying to destroy me by waking up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how dare they awake
Yeah.
in the morn
Yeah.
as I have
To interrupt you.
to interrupt me.
Yeah.
But, at some point you just have to decide that, okay, they're awake. I'm still going to take this time for myself.
Yeah.
But I have to look at, like, why does that bother me so much?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? What are they trying? What is this trying to show me internally?
For sure. Yeah. And I feel the same way. It's like, that's the place that I've come to after being in this hole with him. It's like, really, it's like he's come to my life for a few reasons.
For sure.
But one is to show me that, like, I need to, be outside of myself more often than I am. And secondly, he's a child.
Yeah.
He's not doing this to me.
No.
It's not a victim situation for me. Like, I'm not a victim of my circumstance or of him. It's like he's just a baby.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy because I feel like in society as a whole, and especially with the intensity that social media, integrates into people's lives, and mine specifically, people have these, like, perfect lives, right? They have these perfect babies that never cry and, like, wear jeans and, like, are just wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's like, mine are not that way. So it's like, I can't relate. Like, why do I have this kid? Yeah. Like, and, the question you get, like, I get, and I'm sure a lot of people do, is like, how many hours do they sleep at night? It's like, why do you have to stress me out with that question? Like, I don't
get that too.
She a good sleeper?
Yeah, like,
because how old is your baby?
Almost 8 months.
Okay.
But it's the same. Like, why does that matter? Whether they sleep or not? Like, is that making me a better person if she does sleep through the night versus, like, it's a baby and that's it. She's a baby. There's going to be a night where she sleeps 10 hours. There's going to be a night where she sleeps for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's a baby thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you guys, but do you ever have that moment where you just look down and you're like, oh my God, I made this.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Like, insane.
Yeah.
I guess because I only have one. Like, I'm just...
Don't, first of all, you don't only have one. You have one, and that's a lot to deal with on any given day.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like you take that pause, like, and you're just like, I can't believe that I made this, and they look like you, and you're like, oh my God.
They act like you.
Wait till they start acting like you. That's a huge
I'm
thing.
Excited for that.
Yeah, Caleb, like, I can't. Like, sometimes he does things, like, I don't know if my personality is extremely overbearing. It could be. Like, I'm myself, and I have a lot of personality. But both of my older children, both of my older children are so me, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
It's so
Isn't that
weird.
Awesome?
No,
it is. I think it is.
No.
I think it is.
It terrifies me because, like, as much as I love myself and I've come to a place of acceptance and, like, I think I'm pretty awesome.
Oh, well, yeah.
I went through a lot to get to that place with my stubborn ass personality.
Yes, you did.
So when I see my kids like this, I'm like, good Lord, take a different route. Please. Save me and take a different route. Like, how do I navigate?
Take the wheel.
Yeah. How do I navigate these children in a different direction?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Help me.
Totally.
Like, you know?
I do know.
So bigger kids, bigger problems. I'm just getting into that in my life.
Bigger kids, different problems, girl. Just different problems. Like on any given day. So I have those moments that you're talking about where like you look at them. Yeah. It's usually, so those moments are more intense after they've had a tantrum right before bed. Because like I feel like I go to that place where I'm like, if you don't stop, I'm gonna, girl, I'm gonna.
You're done.
This is over.
You're done.
You're done.
Yeah.
So we go from that place to then like, mommy, to then sleeping. And then I'm like, how do you make me see red so quickly and then get me to a place where I feel like this is heaven on earth? How does one human being make me feel that? It is
It's
insane.
The witchcraft of the pushing you to the brink of insanity. They're dangling you right over the cliff. Yeah. And then just when you think you're going to fall right over, they just pull you right back. And it's like, remember? You love me.
I wish that you could see the face, everyone listening, that Christine just made as she said that, because it is the face of like, like satanic works. Yeah. Like it's just like...
And that's what it is.
Gotcha. Yeah. But like, honestly, it is insane to me, the intensity that you can feel on one end of the spectrum of like that darkness. Yeah. And yet still looking at your child at the end of the day, whether it's been a fantastic day or not, and being like, wow, you overwhelm me. You challenge me. Yeah. You make me look at myself in ways that I didn't ever want to look at myself. Yep, absolutely. I'm scared to death. And if anything ever happened to you, I don't think I could keep breathing. Yeah. Like that is, and it doesn't change at all. In fact, it probably gets more intense as they get older. Yes. That has been my experience 100%. So like every time Thomas leaves to go to a party, because like now he's 16, he's going to parties. Yeah, of course. So every time he leaves to go to a party, he comes in, he tells me where he's going, who's going with, what the address is, who's going to be there. All of these things are my rules. Yeah. Which he respects. I mean, which is great. They're phony. Like they're phony in my, like they're my attempts to have control over something I have no control over, but he respects that that's working for me to allow me to let him go a little bit. Right. So he humors me and he gives me all of that. And then I like always take his sweet, now hairy face in my hands and give him a kiss, like a sweet kiss. Yeah. Because it's like, there's still that intensity of like, I know you're probably going to be fine. Yeah. And you're probably going to come home at curfew, or I'm going to see you tomorrow because you're staying at so-and-so's house. Yeah. But like, I really love you and I don't know what I would do if you didn't come home. Yeah. Yeah. So there's like that joy and insane fear. Yeah, I can't imagine all at the same time my kid into the world to be his own person. It terrifies me. It's been a challenge for me. I already get sad when I think about him going off to college in a year and a half. Like he'll be out of the house, away at college, living somewhere else in a year and a half. And no joke, last week he was like walking around, in his shorts and he's shirtless because he's like, a teenage boy who's like beefy or whatever. Yeah. And he's got the same belly button. Yeah. And I'm looking at his belly button and I'm like, I see 18-month-old Thomas. Like that's what I see. And he's a young man. Yeah. Who's like talking to girls. Okay, so that was going to be my next question. Please ask me. How is that going? Okay, so apparently the first thing was that I was schooled in how this whole dating thing works now. Because apparently we're super out of touch. Right, of course we are, yeah. So we're out of touch. Let's just establish that. There's no like boyfriend and girlfriend thing happening yet. That's not the thing. The thing is that they're talking to each other.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, like, are you talking to other people? No. Okay, so are you like dating? No. Okay, are you like courting? Is it like...
Have we gone
like,
back? Have we gone back to olden times?
I think we have. I think it's like new age courting. So they're like talking to decide if they like each other enough to date. Okay. But like he's not talking to anybody else and she's not talking to anybody else. And when I say they're talking, they like FaceTime now because that's the thing to do. But they'll like stay on FaceTime with each other like all day. He's going to probably kill me for saying this, but like he'll never listen to it.
Yeah, right.
So like, and neither will she unless I intentionally direct them. And by this time, hopefully they're dating because I really like the sound of her. She's really smart. Okay. And she's super cute. Okay. So if you're listening, then great. But if this is a future girlfriend, I'm really sorry. Yeah. And like the point is he's not, the thing that I love about it and love about him is that he, is not jumping into anything. Yes. He knows that most guys that have girlfriends that are his age, all of their girlfriends just want them to spend their money on them. Right. And take them out and buy them stuff. Right. And he wants his money for his own thing. So he's very motivated by the dollar bills. Yeah. And he likes to keep those in his own pocket. Yeah, nice. And he
How sad is it that that's what girls want? But anyways.
But so he's made an observation, which was like, okay. And he's also been to a few parties where he has said to me, and this is the great thing that I have to say about having a child so young. It taught me a lot about growing up with him. And part of that is communicating. Yeah. A lot of the time I was just like, I don't know what to do here. And I think that created a bond that was pretty significant for us because we were figuring it out together. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that some moms would say that that's probably like not a good idea, but like it's worked really well for us because now we're at a point where he talks to me about things that I would never have talked to my parents about. Right.
And do you feel like you can translate that to your younger kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. 100%. That's amazing.
100%.
Awesome.
So I feel like, you know, because we have that closeness, he will bring those things to me in a way that like allows us to talk about it a little more openly. Okay. So, you know, he has said to me, you know, Mom, I've been at parties before and there's girls that are drinking and they'll give anything for a guy just to take them upstairs. Oh. And this is what he says to me, 16 and a half. And I know that's true because like, come on. Yeah. And he said to me, Mom, I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. That's not what I'm about. I want to be that guy. Yeah. So that, despite our hiccups. Yeah. Despite the times where like, I really want to end him. Yeah. And despite, you know, it really speaks, I think, to how, even though as parents, like we are challenged. As moms, we are super challenged. We have no idea whether or not we're significantly screwing our kids up or not. Yes. There are some moments like that. Yeah. That really speak to the resiliency of children.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you could totally mess up everything. Yeah. And they would still have the capacity to turn out okay.
Yeah. I think so, yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And the things that I think well, it is. But I think like the things that we could perceive as like, you know, you mentioned like the Peppa Pig for 4 months. It's like, well, she knows how to lay down and laugh. Yeah. She knows how to lay down and have a good laugh. Yeah. She's learning how not to take life so seriously. Yeah. She's not remembering Mom not paying attention to her.
Yeah, I hope not.
No, there's no way.
Absolutely not.
She's remembering like how cool Daddy Pig's accent is. Mm-hmm. Right? And so
that's like the stress you put on yourself, right?
Totally.
It's like, what are they going to remember of me?
Do you remember when you were 1.5, almost 2?
No, it's funny because I was thinking about this earlier. It's like the things I remember are not from when I was that age.
No.
They're just not.
No.
But still, it's like, it's the expectation factor, right? That we talked about earlier. It's like, this is the expectation I have of myself. Totally. And that's why it's all about me. It's not about them. It's about me. It's that self-centered aspect of who I am.
Totally.
That says like, oh, I'm not meeting this standard. So I have to be so upset about it and like beat myself up until, you know, I feel like I've adequately attacked myself and my character so that I can move on. which is so self-deprecating and like
it is
really, really pointless. But when you're sleep deprived, you're constantly listening to someone crying at you and really just working on meeting the needs of other people.
Yeah.
You can't take care of that self-deprecating person that lives inside of you.
Yeah.
Because there's no time.
There's no time.
Yeah. So that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very, very cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I'm going to handle the whole, like, so have you had the sex talk with Thomas?
Several times.
Yeah.
Several times.
Yeah.
I approach it in many different ways.
Yeah.
I use humor a lot.
Okay. To make it not uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Like, because he did,
to make it relatable.
Like, Mom.
Yeah.
To make it relatable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, the biggest thing is if you're not old enough to talk about sex, you're not old enough to have it.
Yeah.
So if you can't talk to me about buying condoms, you're not old enough to have sex.
Yeah.
And then the other, that I have a few like...
What age did you start these dialogues, just out of curiosity?
Like 12, 11, 12.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it was like, I'd rather, Thomas will tell you 100% of the time, I'll say, if I said to him, what would I rather buy you? He'll say condoms instead of diapers. I would rather buy you condoms than buy you diapers for a baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And, I think, again, because I don't keep, I share things with my kids that is like, that are age appropriate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And age appropriate, I discuss with him the challenges that I faced as a young parent.
Yeah.
And while I don't regret it ever, that definitely led to me having to make some decisions around life that, where I was going to go to school, what I was going to do for work, et cetera, that were a lot more limiting in my ability because I was a single mom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you meet a girl at a party, remember how annoyed you are by your 6-year-old brother in your room, because that could be your son if you don't use a condom. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, let's be real about short-term decision making can have long life-altering outcomes in terms of changing the entire path of your future.
Yeah. So we also have something else in common that I find very interesting.
Yes.
It's the veganism.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even believe that I'm here today with you and we're vegan.
I know.
My heart skipped like 3 beats when you told me.
Really?
You're vegan. I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm next level in love with veganism.
So we want to talk to you, obviously, about this part of your life.
Yeah.
So how did it come to be?
Okay. It's an involved answer. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah. Are you ready?
Oh, so ready. Okay. So excited.
So I had a daughter.
You did?
That's the beginning.
Wow.
I had a daughter.
Okay.
And that was scary because I recognized, so the decision to become vegan was not intentional from the beginning. Like, I did not know that the decision was kind of happening. Okay. It happened to me. Okay. And it was the best decision that ever, that I ended up adopting as my own decision. But it kind of happened over a long period of time. So it started with knowing that I was going to be a mother to a daughter. Okay. And knowing that my daughter was going to look to me to learn how to be a woman.
Right.
And part of that was her learning to love her body. Yeah. Love her skin. Accept herself in whatever shape, size. Yeah. All of that she... all of her magnificence, that she was going to look to me how to do that. Yeah. And I didn't know how to do that. Yeah. And after I had her, I was at my heaviest. I was at 315 pounds. Wow. And I knew that I had to change the way I was living in my own body. Yeah. Because she was going to look to me. Right. And so I kind of started to make small choices to take better care of myself. And we're talking like baby steps doesn't even begin. We're talking like tiny incremental steps. Okay. So first I started running, which is like not smart when you're 315 pounds to like go from not doing any exercise to like, let's take up running. the highest impact, like outside on the cement. But I did it. Like, so I like used an app and like started like the walk a minute, run a minute thing. And I was like, I'm going to run an 8K in 5 months. And that's my goal. So like I started with that.
Okay.
And then I did it.
Wow.
I did run the 8K like before the race, and then my husband did the race with me, and it was a mud run, and we had the kids in the stroller, and it was raining that day. So we were able to do 4 of the 8.
Okay.
But I had done the 8 before the race. So I was like, I did it. Like I did an 8K steady running, no breaks, and that was like my goal.
Yeah.
So that was like the first thing. And then I like joined a gym and started working out, but my food was still like not great.
Okay.
The relationship that I had with food wasn't great. Then I started watching like the documentaries, right? Like the first one was like Hungry for Change. And then it was like Forks Over Knives. Mm-hmm. And some of the older, then we're going back now to like 2014.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of the docs.
Yeah. Before we get into... what's the big one?
What the Health.
What the Health.
Yeah.
So started watching the docs and was like, I'm throwing all my food out and I'm eating only plant-based.
Yeah.
And that would last for about a week until I was like, I am starving. I don't know how to eat this diet. What am I doing? And then I went totally back the other way. Like all of the junk, all of the animal stuff, all of the highly processed foods. Yeah. Fast forward a couple of years and I'm going to the gym, but and I'm losing a little bit of weight, and I'm feeling better because I'm working out. And then I take this job in a different city where I'm commuting up to 3 hours a day. 3 hours one way. So 2.5 hours, 3 hours one way. So I'm in the car like 4 to 6 hours a day commuting for a short period of time until we moved. But I was now not able to go to the gym. Yeah. Because I was commuting and I was eating the same. So I quickly started to get very puffy. Yeah. I started to expand in such a way that was like, okay, you obviously need to pay closer attention to your diet. Yeah. So I started with kind of a weight loss program, and I'm not going to mention what one because I don't want to endorse anything. But
was it a center?
It was like an organized program that has 2 W's in it. Okay. Nice. And so I started with this W squared program. Yeah. And started to pay more attention to my nutrition. Right. And so I quickly eliminated some of the high fat meats that I was eating, like sausages, and ground meat, all of that stuff that I would never even think about putting near my body ever again. Yeah, me neither. I won't even touch it. I don't even like the touch. No. Like the feeling I get in my skin when I think about touching it. Yeah. So I started to eliminate those things one by one. So it was very small change. And then I started to notice that I felt better. And I've suffered from crazy anxiety for most of my adult life. Yep. I suffered from severe social anxiety specifically. Yeah. And people didn't really make that connection because I'm a pretty social person. Yeah. But I had extreme anxiety. And as I lowered my meat consumption, my anxiety also lowered. Okay. And then I started to do some research on the correlation between the hormones in animal products that are released prior to slaughter. So when an animal is under extreme stress and duress, they produce a hormone, a chemical hormone that then is in the meat that we ingest. Right. And so that increases our anxiety, depression. So there's like a direct correlation between, anxiety and depression being far more prevalent in today's society than there has been in past.
Correct. Yeah.
And so the less animal product I consumed, the better I felt. And then I started to do these to do further reading, and the more reading I did, the less animal product I consumed. So I was vegetarian for about a year.
Yeah. So was it the cheese for you?
That I was afraid to let go of?
Yeah.
It was more like, I was never really like hooked on the cheese. I know that that's a thing that people are hooked on.
Yeah.
I know that, like, you know, I can see why that is. Like, you know, if you've seen the documentaries, if you've read the text, you know, they basically, cheese, casein is the protein in cheese that, like, highly addictive and it basically fires into the same centers in the brain that highly addictive drugs like heroin does, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes you want to have it all the time.
Yeah.
Cheese wasn't really my thing. I think, so I kept more and more eliminating things, and I would say for about a year I was about 98% plant-based.
Yeah.
And the 2% was like the odd baked good.
Yeah.
Or like milk in my coffee if I was at Timmy's, because I didn't have like soy milk or almond milk.
Yeah.
So it was like the convenience.
Yeah, I still do that today.
Yeah, and it was like, I got to a point where I was like, why am I hanging on for the 2%?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, for me, this took place over like a long period of time. The last year and a half of that was like small changes, one thing at a time. So like, I've heard a lot in social media, on YouTube, and in different, you know, capacity. There's like different kinds of vegans, right? Like the person that goes vegan all at once, and the person that does it like, listen, you're either eating plant-based diet or you're eating something that involves something other than plant-based diet. Yeah. And so, and it doesn't matter how you get there or when you get there. If you're there, you're there. And if you identify as such, then that's great. You got to do what feels good for you and your body, and however you arrive there. For me, it was arriving there in baby steps.
And so did you take your family along for this journey, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not intentionally. Yeah. So I didn't like, you know, this time was different from the other attempts to like get right with myself, in that I didn't go home and say, this is what I'm doing. Yeah. I just started to say like, oh, if you could just actually make me a few more vegetables, because Wayne does the cooking, right? Yeah. Right? Like, keep cooking it, but like, I'm not going to have the meat tonight. If you could just make sure there's enough vegetables for me. Yeah. And then the more I started to eat that way, the more Wayne started to cook that way to support me. So I have to say, I'm extremely blessed that I have an incredibly supportive spouse that prepares healthy and nutritious meals for me in support of my dietary lifestyle.
Right. Amazing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That doesn't happen for everybody.
No.
It didn't happen right away, but he started to see that I was committed to making some changes, and he supported me.
Yeah. So how do you parent your kids? So they've gone from non-plant-based diets to a plant-based diet?
Primarily, yes. I would say my kids are probably about a 95% plant-based.
So if they go to school, obviously Isaiah does, so does Elizabeth.
They all do, yeah.
Pizza day, are you in, are you out?
They can do what they want to do.
Yeah.
If they want pizza day, they can have pizza day.
Yeah.
My daughter loves hot dog day.
Yeah.
She wouldn't know the difference if it was a veggie dog, or so she's not attached to the fact that it's a meat product. Yeah. She just loves the hot dog. She loves the day, and she loves the bun, and she loves the thing in the bun. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Needless to say,
so like, So like the other day, it was like, okay, I knew what I was going to eat, and I had to run to the grocery store before we had to hunker down for this crazy cold spell. And I'm like, I just got to grab something, because like I don't have time to do grocery shop. Yeah. And we was like, I don't know, like maybe the kids want nuggets. And I was like, okay, like I'll figure something out. So I go to the grocery store, and like, I can't buy nuggets anymore. Like, I can't buy chicken nuggets for my kids. Now, that doesn't mean that when we
eat a veg nugget or no?
Well, they will. Yeah. But instead, I just got veggie dogs because they love veggie dogs. Yeah. But like, I'm getting to a place where, like, I will allow them, when we go out, if we're at somebody's house and there's meat, there's pepperoni and cheese pizza, and you want a slice, that's cool. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I'm trying to raise them in such a way that they make those choices themselves. Yeah. That they have a diet that's primarily plant-based. Yeah. I don't want to create this forbidden fruit attitude. They're still too small to make a lot of those decisions on their own.
Mm-hmm.
However,
yes,
as we educate ourselves, they become educated. So we were baking. Elizabeth was probably 5. Elizabeth has not eaten eggs she was probably 4. She hasn't eaten eggs in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And we were baking.
Yeah.
She was baking with her dad. She did the egg. And she asked him, what's that white part in the egg? And he said to her, well, that is the part of the yolk that if the mom, sits on the egg and, if it's incubated for this long, it can be a baby chicken.
Yeah.
And she kind of looked at the egg yolk and looked at him and looked back at the egg yolk and looked back at him and said, I don't want baby chickens in my cookies. Yeah. Right? Like, just about 4 years old. And she was just like, I'm not eating eggs anymore because those are baby chickens. Yeah. So, like, we're just answering the questions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And whatever they decide, like Thomas is 16 and a half. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
He'll smash a Big Mac for fun, like between meals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's nothing I'm going to do about that.
Yeah.
But he respects that there's no meat in my house.
Yeah.
And if, like we don't cook turkeys at Thanksgiving anymore.
Yes.
We don't do we don't do the preparing of the meat products in our home.
Yeah.
Because I unfortunately now, and I say that sarcastically, I fortunately buy into this whole energy exchange thing.
Yeah.
So the energy I bring into my house, the energy I put into my body, it has a direct correlation with how I feel energetically and what energy I put out.
Yes.
It's an exchange thing.
Yeah.
So I don't want the energy of
carcass
harmed animals.
Yes.
Into your home.
Who I don't want that in my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't feel good when it's in my house.
Yeah. I don't prepare it either. It's not for me.
No.
But I take a very similar approach with my children.
Yeah.
So in our home, we don't eat meat products. We don't eat dairy products. That's just
So is your guy the same? He doesn't eat?
Nope.
He's vegan.
Yep.
Good. Okay.
But when we go to, especially Daniel's parents, they have, it's a smorgasbord, right?
Yeah.
And if my kids want to bake, or eat Grandy's delicious baking, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
If they want to have, like, she makes legendary turkey at Thanksgiving. If they want to have a little bit of it, like, I'm not going to say no. Like, that's for them. If they want pizza day, they're having pizza day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, Daenerys is still very small, so we're in control of what she eats, so she doesn't eat any meat products. But I'm not going to look at her when she's 4 or 5 years old and everyone else is having pizza and be like,
you can't have
no,
that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's the same with, Mila's diabetic, right? Yeah. And I said very early on I was going to do everything I could to make her not feel different, even though she is. Mm-hmm. And it's important for her to understand the things that she needs to do to take care of herself. Yeah. But I'm not going to say to you, pizza's super high in carbohydrates. It's not something that you can have. Yeah. And have her sit there and think like, fuck my diabetes because I can't have pizza with my other kid, with these other kids. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think, inclusion when you're small
super
is
important.
Super important.
Yeah.
Right? So, so that's very interesting. So what was the reaction of your family?
I was just going to ask,
Of like my extended family.
Yeah.
Parents.
Oh, I get harassed about it all the time. So here's how you'll know there's always a vegan in the room. Everybody who isn't the vegan will talk about the vegan in the room.
Always.
Everybody who isn't the vegan needs to point out the vegan in the room. Oh, what are you going to have? Is there anything on the menu you can have? Oh, I made sure I made this for you. Yeah. Because you don't eat this. Yeah. And so I just kind of...
Do you ever get... Are you still doing that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite. Are you still...
Wait, so you don't have eggs? No. You don't have milk? No.
You have butter?
No butter. If it came from an animal, I don't eat it. Nothing? Yeah. But milk is good for you. It's high in calcium. Right?
The thing that I find so funny about that is like, am I a cow? Do I aspire to be the size of a cow?
That's how I explain
it. That's for a baby cow to grow.
Yeah. Right.
I am not a cow.
Yeah. I usually say milk is for baby calves, and then you get the...
Yeah.
They shut up right away because
Yeah.
Like we're the only people on this planet that drink milk from another animal.
Yeah.
Do you want some of my, should I offer my breast milk to your dog?
But if you were to put breast milk,
why you're not inviting me to have
but if you were to put breast milk in a glass,
yeah,
and someone drank the whole thing, and then you told them it was human breast milk, they'd probably go throw up.
Absolutely.
But if you told them it was cow's milk, they would be like, "Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's fine."
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it 2% or skim?
Right.
Yeah. Is there less?
So weird.
None or more. Right.
So weird.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, and that's a perfect example of how I'm educated. So when Isaiah asked what's the difference between cow's milk and almond milk, that was the journey we took.
Yeah.
Are you a human or a baby cow? Well, I'm a human. Okay. So a baby cow drinks milk from a mama cow, and the milk is meant to make that baby cow grow into a mama-sized cow in a very short period of time.
Yes. Yeah.
So what is that milk going to do to you, Isaiah? Make me as big as a cow. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came along with, and then he sleeps, right? Like that.
Yeah.
But at least it's opening a dialogue and making them aware.
It's funny because I feel like I was destined to be vegan, because my mother, when I was growing up, was like, drink your milk, drink your milk, drink your milk.
Finish your meat.
I fucking hate this milk.
Yeah.
Like, I would have to put my glass of milk in the deep freezer for 25 minutes till it was almost an ice cube, just so I could swallow it, because I didn't like the taste. And if it was cold enough,
then you could get it down your gullet.
Get it down.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know if it was a mental thing or what, but I hated milk. Yeah. And like, they still talk about it to this day, about how Christine with the milk in the freezer. But she would always be like, you have to drink your milk. Mm-hmm. And I never wanted
because
it.
of the, commercials and advertising. If your kid doesn't have their milk, they won't have strong bones.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2019, where we've now discovered that
it's the opposite.
Drinking milk is actually not giving you strong bones.
It's making them weaker.
Yeah. Right.
And it makes them brittle.
Yeah.
And that's why so many people are
But our parents are still stuck there. My mom still is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't understand, when you're done breastfeeding, how will her brain grow? She needs the cow's milk for her brain to develop.
It's amazing,
I'm like,
right?
Really? Yeah. Cow's milk for my child's brain to develop.
Yeah.
She needs the fat. Yeah. I will find fat from other places. She doesn't need fatty cow milk.
No.
They don't even need, there's so many healthy fats in so many foods.
Oh my God.
Too, right?
Praise avocados.
And my daughter, she was done on formula when she was 8 months, and she never had cow's milk. She transitioned straight from formula to almond milk and soy. We changed back and forth. She never as an infant, until she was older, I was like, can I have some chocolate milk? Like, she, as an infant, never had cow's milk.
Yeah. Same with Daenerys. I mean, she went right to coconut.
Yeah.
They were on coconut. Yeah.
Love that coconut.
Yeah, she loves
so good.
Coconut milk.
But I think you're right. It is that generation.
Yeah. And they won't get over it.
No.
I'm glad that our generation,
it's changing.
There's more, and I mean, look at all the vegan restaurants opening. Every restaurant I go to has at least one vegan option now on their menu, so we're not going to be that person who has to modify, and the waitress gives you the eye roll because you're like, oh, I'm vegan. They're like, oh, great.
I don't even say the word.
No.
Because people there is this negative connotation.
There is.
In when you say it.
Yeah.
So I just say I don't eat dairy or meat.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, is that an allergy or
Sure it is.
It's oh, it's an allergy, so just make sure it's not in there, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
And then they take it more seriously, they don't think that you're some hipster.
Isn't that crazy how people take it more seriously when you say, I could die.
Yeah, if
you put it near my food, I will die. If dairy farts anywhere near my plate, I'm gonna die.
But if you're a vegan, you're a hipster doofus that is just wanting the attention.
Look
at me, I'm a vegan. So.
And so it's interesting because I used to get so much anxiety around eating in general because of that negative relationship with food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now it's so I hate going out in groups of people that all know I'm vegan.
Yeah.
Because they always I was at a sporting event for work.
Yeah.
And all of my coworkers were like,
what are you eating?
What are you going to have? You can have these olives. And I'm like, listen, don't worry about the vegan. I've got an apple and some walnuts in my purse. Everybody settle down. I'm not worried about it.
If I need to have a piece of bread, I'm going to have a piece of bread.
I'll just
There's
carve it up
bread.
tonight. There's hashtag fries over there. I'm going to have a few of those with some hot mustard. Like, I'll be good.
Yeah.
What are you having?
Yeah. Are you eating the carcass from
the bone?
Are
you having, or is it straight off the bone?
Are you having some hormones?
Like, come
with
on.
a side of hormones with
do I need to manage your emotional instability as a result of ingesting animal products for the next 25 minutes? Like, just let it be.
I know, but they're so fascinated. Like, I know it happens for me. Like, just fascination.
I know.
Of like, and Daniel's parents, bless them, but every time, and we go there often, and by often I mean pretty much every week.
Okay.
And they will always say, "Are you still doing that?"
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
Oh.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and they try. I remember.
Meanwhile, it's just very funny. And his mom will always make a dinner for everyone that is vegan. Like, she buys the vegan butter. She buys, you know, the vegan products, and she always makes food so that we have it. Yeah. So, but it's so funny that it's always like, are we still doing this? Are we on this level?
We still, can we introduce? No, we can't. No. Okay, we're still on the no animal thing.
Yeah. And people are so, we're products of our environment, right? Mm-hmm. And so, people are so conditioned to eat and think one way. And we all, like, worldwide, really, have been conditioned to believe that, it is our duty in order to, full circle food chain and maintain it and be healthy and strong, to eat the animals, to do the hunting, to, this is baser instincts, baser needs. Like, this is how we've been conditioned. And people are so against change.
Oh, like,
even when I will say to someone, how do you feel about the fact that we're in a position now, and you have young children, and I have young children, that the ocean is not going to be habitable in a very short amount of time, in your lifetime, which means the earth will then die, and we won't be able to live here anymore. All because most people in the world are not willing to stop eating fish or overfish the ocean.
But we're getting rid of straws.
But straws are important. So,
that's right.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
let's just stop eating the fish instead of getting rid of straws.
But but people aren't. They can't even think about that.
No.
Right? Like, I feel like. So, have you seen the movie WALL-E?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I use this as the example all the time.
Fantastic
when I'm talking
example.
To people.
Yeah.
It's like,
amazing.
do you want to be in the movie WALL-E? It's like, well, no. It's like, well, this is where we're headed. And so whoever created the movie WALL-E was a genius because they could see what we were doing to the planet and what direction we were headed.
Incredible foresight.
Right. Yeah. Incredible. But people can't make the connection of like, this is what animal agriculture is doing to our planet, and if we just take a step back and every person not becomes vegan but eats less animal byproducts every day, we will be saving our planet.
I think that it's all about like the focus again, right? It's like all external focus, or it becomes about this like, but it feels good to eat bacon.
Does it though?
And well, that's people's argument.
This is it.
It's like
right?
the taste.
It tastes good. It feels good. When it tastes good, it feels good. And like, I just want what's good.
Yeah, and then you have these fad diets. Like now it's like keto. So it's like eat copious amounts of bacon and you'll be skinny.
Yeah.
Like, what is this
basically trick your body into thinking that it's starving to death so that you can lose weight by eating animal fats.
Right.
To put your body into a state of tricked starvation.
Right. By putting yourself into a state that diabetics suffer from.
Right. Oh, that's what breaks my heart.
Next level.
Not on
everything.
Not by their choice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like, I just...
Yeah, that must be next level for you.
Yes, it is.
And here's the thing, right? Like, so I stumbled on this decision as like a strategy to get healthy and lose weight. And I have to say that, like, by making the small decisions, 125 pounds lost, which was amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But then it just became about just that. It's about like disconnecting from the next, like the diet and weight loss industry makes me want to scream from the rooftops, because it's like something like crazy, like a $30 billion a year industry. And please don't quote me on the number because I'm just pulling it out, but like it's huge. I'm just trying to describe its massiveness here. Yeah. And it essentially creates all of these like super focused ways of eating that make people obsessed with eating. Just make decisions that energetically feel good. If that means you're vegan, great. If that means you're vegetarian, great. If it means that just today you're trying to eat less animal product, great. Welcome to like the world of noticing and making intentional decisions.
And having a positive relationship with your diet, right? And not just, eating with the purpose of looking a certain way, but eating with the purpose of nourishing your body and 100%. Giving back to the earth, right?
And knowing...
Which sounds super hairy-fairy. And if I said that in front of Daniel, he'd be like, come on. He'd be like, what are you even saying? But for me, it's like I eat with intention, and the way that I eat, I feel like I'm giving back to the earth.
100%. Right. And I feel like by at least leading a life that way, an intentional, purposeful, educated life, and demonstrating that for my children.
Right. And this was my next point. It's like if I can raise 4 people that are mindful in that way, that have that intention,
and you've done it.
Then
you've done it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. It's about the footprint.
They're my legacy, right?
That's right. And they will probably do the same with their children, and so on and so forth. And we're gonna grow this amazing.
We hope that we're like creating this vegan movement with little sweet humans. And like and here's the thing, admittedly, I used to love bacon. I would eat a lot of it. I mean, bacon comes up all the time. This seems to be the handcuff.
Like the That's right. So for me it's cheese, and I still to this day fantasize about pizza. I don't eat it.
Fantasies.
Yes, I do. Because I love a good brie. On a cracker. Like so much.
I used to love brie too.
Yes. Warm brie, cracker.
And like a little caramelized jam of some kind. Jams.
Yeah.
I can relate to you on that. It was the taste thing.
Yeah.
But like...
I do miss it.
You know what? Sometimes I think I miss the idea of it. No. I miss the idea of it.
You think so? I think I actually miss it.
Yeah, you might. But
pizza.
Here's the thing. I've had a lot of specialty vegan cheeses. Like I've had a faux smoked brie. That was like orgasmic.
And where was this brie?
I was at some function.
Oh.
Well. It was, and I was like, where I need because I'll eat the whole wheel, and that's not good either. So like, admittedly, I loved bacon, but now. Do you want to, I love watching videos of baby pigs getting bathed. Like with little shower heads. Like, I look at a video of a baby pig getting washed with a shower head. And like snuggling into a towel. And I'm like, no, bacon. No.
Nothing, what was that saying? Nothing tastes as good as vegan feels.
Oh, it's so good.
So for that minute that I go to bed at night knowing that anything that I put in my body was not harmed.
Totally.
I feel good. I just feel good.
Yeah.
I never liked eating animals. Like, I just never did. No. I always liked looking at animals. I can remember people being like, oh, we're going to eat rabbit. And I was like, no.
But I love rabbits.
I was like, no. Like, I'm not doing that. But you know what's I find also so funny about North America is, like, we, when I say we, like, the North American media, like, talks about, like, dog meat and how horrible it is that these Asian people, or whatever, like, not to be politically incorrect, but,
China,
speaking freely... The Chinese dog meat festival. Let's be...
Like, they think it's horrible because we've domesticated dogs and dogs are so lovely. Well, you can domesticate a pig. It's quite lovely.
Esther the Wonder Pig.
It's not,
oh, I love her.
But it's not fluffy and gorgeous
That's
and
right.
non-stinky. But you can domesticate it, and it's cute in its own way.
Sure.
But
can we just...
maybe dog tastes really delicious.
Perhaps, but I'm never willing to find out.
Right, me neither.
Yeah.
And most people in North America are fucking horrified about that. But serve up a slab of pig, no problem. It's like, what's the difference?
There
really?
is no difference.
There is no difference.
It is an animal, and they all... And here's the thing about pigs. They're highly intelligent.
So smart.
Right.
They're highly intelligent.
So smart. But that people don't care. Bacon, but bacon.
I know, but bacon.
Yeah.
And can we just take a second to talk about, like, how cute baby goats are? Like, have you ever watched a baby goat frolic and jump about? Okay, listen. You have time while you're holding Forbes.
Yeah.
Get on Instagram and check out videos of baby goats. I'm obsessed.
Have you seen the fainting goats?
No. Okay, we'll need to talk about these goats.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, really, when as a result of this all happening, it just makes me happier.
I've had iron deficiency and constipation problems my entire life.
Resolved with veganism.
Same. My sister's like, oh, I need iron supplements. I'm like, you need veganism. Yeah. But I digress. You're not interested.
It's
because
cool.
You need a steak. That's fine.
It's cool.
You do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you going to get your protein?
Yeah, I know.
Like, honestly, I have a mug at work.
Yeah.
That everybody, like, they're all like, oh, that's Theresa's mug. Because it says, I died of protein deficiency, said no vegan ever.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's...
No one's ever died from a protein deficiency.
I'm doing just fine.
Yeah.
Legit. I'm doing just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've ever felt better. I mean, I eat a lot more, like, carbohydrates that I didn't eat before.
Like what? Like white carbs?
No, like just
grainy carbs?
Yeah, like grains.
Okay.
That I never ate before.
Okay.
But other than that, like, you know, I really didn't eat very much meat before.
No.
So it's not really a huge change for me personally.
No.
So, and I just feel better. It's just a better
And then that's all
energy.
that matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on and for being here.
I'm so happy that I was able to come.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
So
cool to be with, like, moms who are just, like, chilling in the basement.
Yeah. Always
right? Like, mom buns, like, just hanging out.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, that we have some stuff in common, which is super cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, like, it's great that you both are, like, creating this platform for moms just to be real about what's really going on. Like, just to be authentic in the mess.
Yeah.
Just to be in the mess. Like, be in the beauty, be in the mess.
Yeah, I think that for me, it's like, I hope that people will come and talk and say the things that matter most to them, that are real to them, that matter most, and that whoever's listening can hear and say, oh yeah, me too. Like, that's, you know, not to, like, jump on the movement of Me Too, but, like, just so that people feel like, okay, this is okay.
Yeah.
Because I really got to a place this past year, where I felt like it wasn't okay for me to be where I was at.
I know.
And that was not okay.
No.
So
but
I know I'm not alone.
No.
In that.
No, because the great thing about that is so many people, I think every mom, like I said before, has faced a moment where they're like, why did nobody tell me about this part of motherhood?
Yeah.
And what am I going to do now? Because it's not okay to talk about this.
Yeah. Part of me is like, and I'm jumping way ahead, but part of me is so looking forward to, if I get the opportunity to be a grandmother and support my daughters in this journey, because I can't wait to tell them, like, these are the things that are going to happen, and I'm going to be here for you.
100%.
I am going to be here, and you can tell me that, you know, you want to just leave your kid alone in its crib and walk away, and I'm okay with that. Like, you need to be able to say that. Or you know, like, I don't want to take care of my kid today because I'm losing my mind. Yeah. That needs to be okay. And I'm going to be there for you.
Right?
To support you.
Yeah.
In saying that.
Which is why I think that I think that this podcast was born just in the ability for you to be like, I am losing it. Yeah. I feel like I can barely keep my head above water.
Yeah.
And then that forms a connection with another mom that's like, yeah,
me too.
I also feel that way.
Yeah.
I get that. And then comes this like, oh, it's okay to not always be okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right to unravel.
Yeah, but it's like we live in a society where mental health is this topic of discussion so frequently, but it's not talked about with moms. It's like moms are expected to not.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're caretakers of others.
Totally.
So how can we allow moms to break down? Because if the moms are losing it, who's taking care of the kids?
Right.
Yeah.
The poor kids, nobody's taking care of them, and they're just going to be all messed up, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like the moms can't have the mental health issues. Everybody else in the world can, though.
Yeah, but not the moms.
Not
no,
the moms,
absolutely not.
Right?
No.
So that's where I take issue with that.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be like anxiety or depression or like, you know, it's just regular shit.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's why this is so important.
Yeah, I think so.
Because,
I'm glad you agree.
Oh, heck yes. That's why I was willing, so never mind willing, like totally pumped.
Yeah.
To get together with a couple of moms who are like just about making it okay for people just to be where they're at. Yeah. Like, just be where you're at.
Yeah, like don't project. Don't
Stop
force
it.
yourself to be someone
it.
or something that you're not.
Just like step into your truth about who you are as a female, a mother, a whatever, a wife, a single mom, whatever is happening.
Yeah.
Just step into the truth of that and be okay with that.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you expect anybody else to be if you can't be, right?
That's why people hide. That's why people pretend to be something that they're not.
Forbes says it's done.
Forbes is saying we've come to the end
Farewell.
of our broadcast.
Farewell,
and that
sweet
will be
Forbes.
it.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Buddy.